Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, we, as the prosecution counsel, we will clear all the doubt in your mind and we will prove that the accused, Ms. Gina Quinn, is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. But first, let us critically recall what has been presented by the defense counsel just now. Don't you realize they have shown you a lot of loopholes? First, Mr. Ray Chevrolet, the famous businessman, and the best friend of the victims. Well, Mr. Chevrolet is not reliable at all. His testimony all are based on assumption and past experience with the victim. Yes, I admit they once become a roommate, but that is long time ago. But how can he be sure about Mr. Kane very clear? How can he justify Mr. Kane very clear? It has been 21 years they have been separated, and that time interval is more than enough to disconnect them with their past experience. And his assumptions that says Mr. Kane is having that kind of peculiar sexual habit cannot be explained scientifically or logically, which is also one of the weaknesses of the defense counsel. In addition, my dear juries, the accused, Ms. Gina Quinn, she was very angry. She was very frustrated when Mr. Kane wanted to leave her. She claimed that she loved Mr. Kane so much, but she also aware that Mr. Kane might change the name of the benefactor if they broke up. She might lose $2 million. So she took her own initiatives. She turned anger, she turned the frustrations to get revenge and kill Mr. Kane to get the money. But, my dear juries, different with our witnesses, we have proven to you, we have shown to you every single fact with logic, scientific, such as the eyewitness, police investigation, medical report from the expert, and the closest person to the victim. We have shown you, we will prove you the evidence that will lead, that will help you to get rid the sense of doubt inside your mind. The accused, Ms. Gina, is guilty. She was proven met Mr. Kane inside the hotel room 0808 in Four Seasons Hotel. They are quarreling before and then heard by Ms. Chan, the hotel worker. Ms. Chan also saw the accused run out from the lobby. And when Ms. Chan found the dead body, he smells a flowerish fragrance. It's a woman's perfume. And more interestingly, the last person that the victim met at that night is the accused, Ms. Gina Quinn. And they even make sexual intercourse before. And testimony given by my second witness, Mr. Matthew Mubarak, the police officer. He confirmed that Ms. Gina Quinn went to the hotel and went into the room. And this proved that the testimony given by Ms. Chan, the hotel worker, is true when she says that she heard two different voices arguing each other. And our side is strengthened by the evidence given by Mr. Leslie Mustang, the expert forensic scientist. Mr. Leslie has proven to you, that the accused and the victim, they are small. How? What's the evidence? We have shown you yesterday the scratch mark found on the dead body, as well as the skin tissues found under the fingernails of the victim. And Mr. Leslie Mustang proved that the skin tissues actually belong to the accused. And about the stool, my dear jury, why do the defendant claim that there is no fingerprints found on the stool? It is because at the time Ms. Gina Quinn kicked the stool. That is why there is no fingerprint found. And the last witness, the closest person to the victim, Miss Mary King. Mrs. Mary King, she was greatly affected by the loss of her husband. She was very sad. She's in very great ill since the day of the murder. Mrs. Mary King, she proved to the court that Miss Gina Quinn has another alternative motive to kill her husband, Mr. King. She knows that Miss Gina Quinn is the benefactor of the $2 million of life insurance. So, here, Miss Gina Quinn, as I emphasized just now, she turns the frustrations, she turns the upset, angry feeling into murder. She killed Mr. K and then get the money. Motive consequently come one by one. So, my dear juries, I beg you, Mrs. Kane, a housewife that always depends on the husband for 14 years of marriage. She don't even know that the husband has special sexual preference. My dear jury, could you please imagine what's the feeling of a wife? What's the feeling when you lost someone that you really love and you know who killed him? Don't you feel that you wanted the murder to be captured? You want the murder to be injustice. You are here to hold the justice. Shall I remind you, my dear juries? So, we, the prosecution counsel, we have proven to you that Miss Gina Quinn is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And again, I really hope that you will reach into a guilty verdict. Thank you, Your Honor.
Members of jury, it is my duty to remind you again that past criminal record, hearsay evidence, and personal opinion should not be taken into considerations when deliberations of verdict is made. Members of jury, during the process of passing the verdict, you are required to consider all the evidences and witnesses that had been brought in by both parties. Based on these evidence and witnesses, you are to decide whether it is enough to prove that the crime was committed by the accused, Miss Gina Quinn. Does the element of mens rea and actus rea exist? If it's so, is it enough to prove that Miss Gina Quinn was the murderer? And is it enough to prove that she had committed the act of murder of Sir Ralph K? The court would also like to remind the jury that murder is a serious indictable offence. Therefore, a unanimous verdict is required for a guilty verdict to be passed. You must be absolutely sure that the case is beyond reasonable doubt before passing a guilty verdict. Should you have any doubt, you are to pass a not guilty verdict. Members of jury, you may now leave the courtroom for deliberations of verdict.
All rise. Clock.
Members of jury, have you reached your decision?
Your Honor, we have come to a verdict. We have come to a unanimous verdict that Miss Gina Quinn is guilty.
Of August 2009,